This guy says the horse can do. If he says the horse can do.
Hello, racing fans, and welcome to the 2013 edition of Handicappers Corner. I'm Mike Heads, and along with Drew Forster, we'll go through the Hastings races throughout the season. Of course, Saturday, Drew, is our opening day. Hopefully the weather cooperates. As of taping, things are not looking so great. Pretty rainy right now.
It is pretty rainy. We've had kind of a tough spring here. You'll notice that our field sizes have been hurt by that a little bit. As we go on a little bit, I say in the next couple of weeks we're going to start to see bigger fields, fuller fields. It did hurt. It took us a while to fill Sunday's card. We got to put together, but there are some short fields, but you'll see that change in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, always the first week's kind of always a little bit tough. It's because you have so many days where the tracks, not through any fault of the track maintenance, they do a great job. Just the weather through February and March was a little tough, and it's tough to get a horse ready off a big layoff. So sometimes they need the extra week, the extra work, and I think you will see bigger fields and the entry box a little fuller next weekend. But we've got 8 races today. Let's get into the card. First half of the daily double. We got some $10,000 fillies and mares. Just a 5-pack going here. Going to go 6 furlongs. We got Eliodora coming up from Turf Paradise. I think you'll see a lot of the horses that have had the winter campaign do quite well early in the year. I think Eliodora is going to be awfully tough in the opener. I'm going to take her on top. I like the 2 Delta Bouquet. She's a cool filly, her mare. She's honest. She kind of tapered off. Her form kind of went a little south towards the end of the year, but her races in the spring and early on were quite good. And she has the dangerous quality of having speed, and that could be, because Eliodora does come from out of it. So at least if anyone's going to beat Eliodora, it might be a pace horse. So I'm going to put Delta Bouquet in for second, and I put the 4 Diana's Legacy, who's an honest mare as well. I went 5, 2, and 4 in the old Saturday opener.
I have the same horses as you. Switch them around a little bit. I do have Eliodora on top, as you mentioned. I don't think you can overestimate the advantage it is for these horses that have been running coming in from Phoenix. That's going to be a common theme, I know, with my picks throughout this weekend, are the horses that are fit or race fit. So I have Eliodora on top. I put Diana's Legacy in second. This is a horse that John Snow knows very well. She bounced around to a few barns. John has probably had the most success with her.
Reclaim last year.
Exactly, and did very
success.
well with her. So, and Scott Williams, a new addition to the jocks room.
Yes, welcome, Scott. We had Aaron Grider, too. We got a couple new riders.
Yeah, this is probably the saltiest jocks room we've had here in some time. A lot of good riders, which is going to translate to very competitive races. And Delta Bouquet, really cool mare, as you mentioned. I have her in the 3rd spot.
Carl does a good job.
Yep, he certainly does. I have 5, 4, and 2 in the opener. On to the second, maiden 7,500 for 3-year-olds and up, going 6 furlongs. And I've gone to the 6, Fox Be Gone. I went to the Steve Henson, Richard Hamill daily double to start the meet off. Another one coming out of Turf Paradise. Was running in their version of the maiden special weights there, the maiden optional 30s. Don't know really what happened last time. Got off to a bad start. Bumped around a little bit. Maybe Jake just wrapped up, said, save her for another day. Today. She shows up for maiden 7,500 here. I think that makes him pretty salty in here, so I have him on top. The second spot, I put number 3, Michael's Glory, out of the Pedro Alvarado barn.
Yes.
Perennial.
We lost a good rider, but now we picked up a good trainer.
Exactly. A guy who was always right at the top of the standings here, rode here for about 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Pedro rode here for a long time. Few BC Derbies, training, rider titles, leading rider a few times. He's gone to the trainer standings, and his first one out looks live here. Second start, gets Fernando Perez in the irons. I went to the 3, Michael's Glory in second. And in the 3rd spot, another new trainer here, Melanie Walters. Very accomplished in the show horse world.
Yep.
Very good on a horse's back. Melanie does a good job. Closing Intentions. A horse that was running higher last year. Against some pretty tough horses, Game 7 and Monaghy, horses like that. He'll appreciate the drop, so I have him in 3rd, 6, 3, and 2 for me.
Yeah, I went down to the rail. I was a little different in this one, kind of different opinion. I'm going to go to the 1 Jackman Road, 6 furlongs. You want to at least maybe, especially if it's going to be sloppy, try those speed horses. And Jackman Road, like a couple of those races last year, ran into Andrell, who ended up running on and being very strong. Actually, the horse is competing very well. Golden Gate, Andrell. So Jackman Road to Scotty Williams. I think this horse, hopefully is live. The price might be all right, and the rail going 6, you can usually never go wrong when you have some speed. So I'm going to try the 1 Jackman Road. I agree with your 3 horse Michael's Glory out of the Pedro barn. Horse just had the 1 run, kind of a tough trip, missed the break, but that's to be expected with 2-year-olds first time out. But now he's 3-year-old, and the works are good. So I give this horse a shot because they really didn't. I don't know. The 6 Fox Be Gone. I don't know. I just couldn't make a strong case for the horse, especially being an off-the-pace horse, and still, yeah, just maybe a little short for the horse, maybe down the road. And I put the 2 Closing Intentions. This is a filly going against the boys, but Closing Intentions for, as you mentioned, Melanie Walters, who's the daughter of longtime owner Ken Walters. He still owns quite a few horses, and Closing Intentions also has some speed, and that's a big thing going 6. So I'm going to go 1, 3, and 2. I kind of just left Fox Be Gone out of there, but maybe that's a mistake, but I went 1, 3, and 2 in the Saturday second. On to the 3rd race, one of our co-features of the day, Optional 40. Nice, some talented mares here, kind of their prep before the first Filly Mare Stakes race a couple weeks down the road. I went to the 4 Claire's Measy. Been training quite forwardly for Greg Tracy. She's a prolific 6 furlong horse, has speed. I don't see a ton of speed in here. I think she gets to the chooch loose on the head end, and I think Fernando Perez is going to take some catching here on the 4 Claire's Measy. I put the 1 PS Touchdown in for second. I've always liked this mare, kind of a cool mare that just kind of hits the fringes. Finally got a stakes win last year. Won on BC Cup Day. I think give her a shot. Her work tab's been excellent. She's been going well. Jeff Birmingham's been aboard for a lot of her good performances, and he's back aboard. We should mention, too, that Chad Hoverson that rode her has now retired.
And he's gone to the
Jocks agent. He's a Jocks agent for Dave Wilson.
Dave Wilson, Frank Fuentes.
Yeah. So best of luck to Chad Hoverson, who is trying his hand at a new facet of the game, and I'm sure he'll do well.
Though. He hustled his own book the last couple of years.
Yes, that's true. Yes. But now he's got a little more pressure. No pressure hustling for yourself.
That's right.
And I put the 5 Castanet Dancer in for 3rd. Aaron Greider, of course, welcoming him to the Jocks room. 3,600 wins for Aaron Greider throughout his career. None bigger than the $6 million win on Well Armed in the 2009 Dubai World Cup Classic. So what a great addition to have Aaron here. He signed on with the Glenn Todd outfit, Troy Taylor, and
I don't think we've ever had a rider with his resume come here. It's really something. A 5-time leading rider in New York, leading rider in Arlington Park, at Churchill Downs. He's been there, done that guy, proven himself everywhere he's been. He looks to have a big meet here. Yeah, so it's great to have him in the room. And I got to put Castanet Dancer, just because she's not really a good 6 furlong. I don't think she's a great 6 furlong horse. I got to put her in for 3rd, though. But I do like Claire's Measy. I went 4, 1, 5. I have Madeira Park on top because she did show some speed in Edmonton last year. Yeah, go with the home team there.
The home team, Daddy.
I see Claire's Measy breaking on top, obviously, but Madeira Park can sit right on her. Like she could probably get right on her hip, give her a good run, and I think she's a pretty classy filly. I think that the switch to 3 to 4, I don't think it's going to be great for her because she's pretty strong filly, so I don't see the jump up to the older mares as a big deal for her.
Yeah, I might have missed the boat on her. Maybe she, because I'm looking at the Northlands races. Maybe those. I mean, she dominated out there. She did very, very well. So it'll be interesting to see how she stacks up.
How she goes to 4, I think she's going to improve to 4. So I picked her on top. I put Castanet Dancer in 2nd. As you mentioned, not exactly her gig, but she's been. I've been watching her work in the mornings, and she is looking extremely well. I know they're really high on her this year. They think that they have maybe back the filly that she was when she was 3. And in the 3rd spot, Claire's Measy, of course, kind of a distance specialist here. And another barn whose horse has been training very well this year. Look for Greg Tracy to have another strong start to the meet. I went 6, 5, and 4. On to the 4th, 3-year-olds and up, open, claiming $25,000. And I went to a horse who is no stranger to these parts. Really cool horse, Pop Artist, out of the Dino Condolinios barn. Chad rode him last year, secured the mount for his rider, Dave Wilson, here. I think Davey's going to get along very well with this horse. He's a really cool horse, and when he first came here, he had him in a few different spots. Look at his record at Hastings, 9 of 18. Since he's found that $25,000 level, that just seems to fit him like
Look at his record in April.
Yeah,
April
exactly.
18th, win in 211. April 14th,
always seems to win opening weekend. Yeah,
he's ready. Dino gets
I look
ready
for him to do it again. Exactly. I went to Pop Artist on top. In the 2nd spot, I put the 6 Mia's Miracle. A horse that was running Woodbine last year. Comes over to the Monica Russell barn. She gets Fernando Perez. A horse that was quite useful in Woodbine in the 12.5. $15,000, $10,000 kind of range. I think that can translate here to a $25,000 horse. So I put Mia's Miracle in 2nd. And in the 3rd spot, I put Goldfire out of the Barb Heads barn. This is one that, as we mentioned, has an edge coming up from Turf Paradise. But this is really not his gig this short. I see him making a move, but running out of ground. So I put him in 3rd spot. I think he's going to be the fastest horse at the end. but will run out of time. So I went 2, 6, and 5.
Yeah, I agree. I think the 2 Pop Artist is your horse. I've gone to him to win it. How can you fault him? Every year he runs well fresh.
Yeah,
That's
opening
what he does.
weekend.
He runs well fresh. Dino's got him the whole card on him. He gets him firing on all cylinders off
knows him
layoffs,
inside out.
and he keeps him in good form too. He doesn't really ever run a bad race, Pop Artist. He's just a neat horse.
He's pretty cool.
I put the 4 Stolen Otis just because of a pace factor in for second. This horse has run some decent races against some quality opponents as well. Just position-wise, I think the horse gets a good trip, and I agree with the 5 Cold Fire. Not the right distance. I wish it was 6.5 maybe, but only 6.
Even a little bit
it's going
more
to
would
be
help
tough,
him,
and it doesn't look like he's going to be a big pace on in here, so I put him in to be a rallying third. I went 2, 4, and 5 in the fourth. On to the 5th race. Got some maiden 25 granders, 3 and up here, going 6 furlongs. I'm going to go to the 3 Wings of Time. Another one, Racing Fit. Been running at Turf Paradise. Run some good races, going a little bit farther. Might be the speed in here. Running against some 3-year-olds, and you always want to take, if you can, you want to take the 4-year-olds over the 3-year-olds in these maiden races. They're a little more seasoned and a little more advanced, especially this one, running so many times. But I've gone to Wings of Time to win it with Richard Hamill. Put the 5 horse General Question in for second. Another one running at Turf Paradise. Had a fitness edge, showed some speed in his races. And Dave Wilson will ride for Cindy Krasner. So I think those are the 2 horses I really like. And I put the 9 firster out of the Mel Snow Barn, another 4-year-old. Firster by a loose exclusive quality called Calusa Cove, and the works are pretty sharp. Minute and 4/5 out of the gate. That was good enough. Mel gets horses ready to run early. Got a farm track on his farm.
Another one dangerous early.
He gets a lot of mileage out of his horses before they ever get to the track. So you always want to keep an eye on Mel's first timers, and I think this horse can probably run. I mean, it's a 4-year-old. You know, he got every reason to run for $5,000 or $10,000. He obviously likes the horse. The horse got some run to it and shows up for $25,000 in his debut. So I'm going to put him in the mix as well. 3, 5, and 9.
With popular Marlo Dunn, who has her apprentice.
Hard worker.
She's
good.
awesome.
And she keeps improving too.
She has her apprentice till July, so look for her to make some noise early on in the season as well. I agree with you. I went to the 3 Wings of Time. The fitness edge is just too much to overlook here. You have a lot of horses who haven't run that much. This horse has a nice, 6 starts, well seasoned. Comes in here fresh, ready to go. Just around the 19th of March, so it's got about
speed is a big key.
Yeah.
Speed, going to be in good position.
Yeah. I was right near the front last time. Got the lead, and just gave it up late. So I got Wings of Time on top. I went to Regal Deputy in the 2nd spot. The works are decent.
Good barn.
Yeah, the connections are tough to beat. Out of the Great Mare, Remarkable Gal, who's thrown a lot of runners around these parts. Aaron Grider for Troy Taylor. I got Regal Deputy in the 2nd spot. And in the 3rd spot, I took Knightsbridge for the Dino Condolinios barn. Fernando Perez in the irons. Just ran once last year and just got beat for maiden 20.
Good speed.
Yeah, got necked late. So with a start under his belt, I think he comes back and will be pretty tough. So I have him in the 3rd spot, Knightsbridge. I went 3, 6, and 10. On to the 6th race, Fillies and Mares, 7,500. Non-winners of 3. And I went to the Pedro Alvarado trainee in here, Lady Born. This is a horse that was running in much tougher races last year, running against Racing for Gold, Dance the Win. Some of the really, Go Sail Go, some of the tough 3-year-old fillies around here. She drops into the 7,500 non-winners of 3 category. I think she's a standout in here. She had that nice drill on March 29th, worked in a minute flat. 2nd fastest of the morning. The Bullet. She got the Bullet that day. If everything's right with her, I think you can go to the windows on her. On the 2nd spot, I put Cinnamon Halo. The Steve Henson barn, Richard Hamill. I seem to have them picked all over on opening day. Another one has the Turf Paradise Fitness Edge. So I think she fits well in here. And in the 3rd spot, I went to Perfect Light. Another one, been running at Turf Paradise. Was running allowance races down there. Comes here, smart play by Barb Heads in the 7,500 non-3 category. Seems to fit her like a glove. I have the 3rd spot with apprentice Alex Marti in the irons. I went 3, 2, and 8.
Yeah, I like the 3-2 Lady Born. I'm a little leery why the horse is down at this level, but there's 17-5 conditional
Pedro
races.
just wants to win races early. He wants to get going.
He read the manual. Well, the trainer's manual.
Right.
Drop him in and win the money. But good works. This horse is pretty. Was running in some tough allowance races last year. Now surfaces. She's eligible for non-2 actually, and is in this non-3 for 7,500. So a little concerned. Just some I just watch her on post breeder and see her, look at her in the paddock, see what she looks like. A little alarmed to see her in at this level, but Antonio Reyes, very good rider back in town, gets the call. I put the 7 5-yard penalty Tony Colucci barn in for second. This filly's, not the most consistent, but when she gets, the right kind of trip, she's usually pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
Especially at this level, she's going to be tough. And I gave 5-yard penalty a shot, and I put the 8. I agree, Perfect Light. Probably not her best distance or best surface. She seemed to kind of take a shining to the turf down at Turf Paradise, but she's run well here in the past, so I'll put her in for third. But 6 furlongs may be a little bit against her. But I'm going to go to the 3, Lady Born, with some reservations. I still want to have a good look at her, but not a key for me. But I went 3, 7, and 8. On to the 7th race, our co-feature, a nice allowance event. Older horses here, 3 and up, going race. 6 furlongs. Field of 8 signed on to race, and I'm going to go to the 2, Senior Rain, out of the Troy Taylor barn, claim for $40,000. Aaron Grider gets the mount. I think this one's going to take a nice trip just in behind the 6, or probably the 4, Golden Triumph, the 6, Unquiet, the 7, Dollar Waiting on a Dime. Looks like those 3 horses have a lot of speed. Senior Rain might get the box seat in behind them. Sometimes that box seat can be dangerous going 6, because you might not get out of there, out of the box. So, but Senior Rain, if the trip doesn't beat him, I think it's going to be very dangerous. I put the 8 Wildcat in for second. I think the race will set up very nicely for Wildcat.
Yeah.
Distance is probably a 1/16 of a mile short for him, but he's got a really good turn of foot. He's been training well for John Snow, and he would have been a lot closer in the BC Derby, probably second at worst, with a good trip. He got stopped cold on the final turn. So his form's a little muddied up because of some trouble, and he might be a lot liver than it looks like on paper. I put him in for second, and I put Dollar Waiting on a Dime, who's been racing at Sunland Park, has a fitness edge for Greg Tracy. I know he may have some issues with Golden Triumph and Unquiet inside of him, but if he can clear, he's pretty fast. If he can clear, then could be tough to get caught at 6 furlongs. So I went 2, 8, and 7, but definitely like Senior Rain, the newcomer from Santa Anita.
Yes, worth mentioning, our good friend of the show, Wayne Oliver, has 2 horses in here. He's partners in on Wildcat and does own part of Senior Rain as well, so it could be a good day.
Good day for the Kiwis.
Absolutely. I went with Senior Rain. I agree with you. You look at the horses he was running against down there. I mean, this is a horse Peter really thought enough of to run against I'll Have Another in the Santa Anita Derby last year, and that was too much company for him, but he found his level around 40 down at Santa Anita, was really salty at that level. Troy Taylor claimed him off Jerry Hollendorfer a day, just got beat by a nose. I think those 40s, those older horse 40s down there, translate pretty well into an optional 40 up here. That should make him very tough. The second spot I put Senior Rojo, just worked at 59 and 2 the other day. He got the rail, he loves the rail. He'll be closing late. Nice prep for him to go into the stake. I think, I don't know if he can be a stakes horse this year. There's some new ones coming in that are going to be tough. But I think at this level, trying to avoid some of those, he's going to be really salty. I have him in second. Richard Hamill knows him very well. And the third spot, I put Dollar Waiting on a Dime. Those are the 3. I think it's those 3. They're the class of the race. I think those are the 3 tough ones. I wouldn't be surprised to see them in any order.
Yeah, I left Senior Rojo off the ticket, only because 6 furlongs, that's really it. His gig, like, he's a neat horse going to mile 16th and farther. Like, he's a nice horse. But just you got to start somewhere, though. And
3 quarters might not be his gig.
Right, and then the rail, get trapped down the end. Mind you, Richard's pretty good at getting out of there.
He is good at getting out of there.
Pretty good, especially on Senior Rojo.
Yeah, he does like the rail. But Dollar Waiting on a Dime, he's another one to run at Sunland. And as I mentioned earlier, Greg Tracy's horses look very good in the morning. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him get off to a good start. I went 2, 1, and 7 in the feature. On to the nightcap, the 8th. It's 3-year-olds and up, 7,500. Non-winners of 3 lifetime. And I went to the 3. Congrats, man. Talk about Greg Tracy. I went with him in the nightcap. Another one been running at Sunland, running an allowance race at Sunland. Shows up here in a spot that seems to fit him like a glove. This is a horse that's 6 for 10 lifetime, has been in the money. Very useful little horse. Never been down this low. I think he fits good. Fernando Perez takes the call for Greg Tracy. You'll see Fernando on a lot of Greg Tracy's. They've had a lot of success in the past together. In the second spot, I went to the 8.
Dilwyn.
Dilwyn's, I think he's a handy little horse.
He hits the board a lot.
He does. He just seems to pick up the pieces all the time. Good to see. Harold Barrowby had a bit of a health scare yesterday. He went to the hospital. He was worried about some kind of heart condition. Doctors gave him the okay. I was talking to him this morning. He looked great. Good. Back to his old self. So good to see Harold.
Best wishes to Harold. I know
Absolutely.
He's a stalwart trainer on the grounds, well liked.
Hall of Famer.
and had a little bout, has a little heart issue, and
Little scare there
little
yesterday,
scare.
yeah.
Hopefully all is well.
Yeah, he seemed very good this morning. So I got Dillwyn in second. And in the third spot, I put the 7, Notice Sal. Horse, another Turf Paradise horse, was running in non-3 allowance races up there. Shows up here for non-3 7,500. I think that's enough to for him to get a piece of it. Antonio Reyes takes a call for William Levanaway. 3, 8, and 7 in the nightcap for me.
Yeah, I went to the William Levanaway runner, Notice Sal. I think this horse might be able to get to the top. I know the last couple of runs didn't show speed, but a couple of those races, there was a ton of pace on in them, and he couldn't get to the front. But in this race, I think he can get to the front in this non-3. So those were allowance races he was in, those non-3s, the last few. But for 7,500, I think he could be the boss in here. I put the 4, Gypsy Magic, and give this horse a shot off the big layoff. His claim did not return after the claim. Was given the entire year off, and been working well, though. He's a cool horse, seldom misses the board. 2 wins, 7 seconds, and a third. Like, he's a real triactor horse.
Keep him in second.
Yeah, he's a killer. He keeps his conditions. But Gypsy Magic, I put him in for second with Richard Hamill. I put the 9 horse. This Bruise for You. This horse might get a good trip from an outside draw, only because this horse has some speed, and there's not a ton of pace in here. You look at the 1, 2, 3. You look at some of the inside horses, not a lot. Maybe Cat's Axe will go. Notice Sal, I think, might clear, and if the 7 clears, the 9 can come down with him, and it could be a 7-9 exactor. We'll see, but this Bruise for You has run some good races for Mel Snow up near the lead, and nice to see George Espetia coming back after a good, I thought he had a very good campaign at Golden Gate Field,
he did.
good to see George there.
Very popular rider.
Yeah, I know.
The happiest guy around.
He is. He works hard, and it's nice to see him do some good. But I went 7, 4, and 9. Well, that'll do it for the 2013 opener. The opener on Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. Up next on screen, we're going to take a quick recap. Well, that'll do it for our first edition of the 2013 season here on Handicappers Corner. Don't forget, first race is at 150. That's 150. We got 8 races on tap for the Saturday program. Wish everyone lots of luck. On behalf of Drew, I've been Mike Eds. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time here on Handicappers Corner.
I got the horse right here. The name is Paul.